Welcome to listening Select Missing Word introduction session. Let's go ahead and see what this question type is about. So, first the basics. You'll have 2 to 3 questions of this type in the exam. What the question is about, you'll hear an audio, and the end of the recording. So the last word or the last few words, you know, have been replaced by a beep sound. Okay, so you'll not hear the last word or the last few words, and you have to identify what that word or that those words were, from the options that have been given to you. So you have to pick one of those options. So essentially, that would be your missing word. There's a 7-second timer before which the audio begins. So please use those 7 seconds to look at the options to just get an idea of, what they might be asking you, what the audio might be about. Another important thing is the instructions of this type of question. For pretty much all other questions, the instructions, they are standard, nothing differs. So you probably don't even need to, look at the instructions and spend your time reading the instructions because you already know what you're supposed to do in the question. But in this type of question, in select missing word, in the instructions, they tell you what the recording is about. Okay, whether it's about mathematics, whether it's about, some political incident or anything. So it will tell you what it's about. So read the instructions in that 7 seconds. That also helps you understand what the audio is going to be about. This is what the screen looks like. And as you can see, at the top it says you'll hear a recording about Asian culture. Okay, so you know that whatever you hear, it's going to be about culture and specifically that of Asia. So you have to look out for information, words related to that. And then quickly have a look at the options that have been given to you, right? And after that, start listening to the audio, which will start, as soon as the 7-second timer it ends. So it's a test of your listening. Pretty much the score that you get, will be based upon your listening. But yeah, there's a bit of reading element in that you have to be able to identify, understand what the words there are on the screen. But yeah, pretty much it's all about listening, and the score that you get will entirely be for your listening. So as I said earlier, the instructions are important. They tell you what the audio will be about. Use the 5 seconds to read that in the instructions and quickly look at the options. Uh, you can try taking the notes, but what's more important is that you understand the theme and understand what the speaker is talking about. Uh, as soon as the audio comes towards the end, that's when uh, it becomes taking notes, writing down something, it becomes important because you want to capture the last word or the last few words, right? Uh, why that's important? Because the last word or the last few words, they have to link with whatever option you select. All right. So even if you don't understand or don't capture or don't get the passage, the earlier sentences, what's coming in the end, that's very important because your option, it has to match those last few words grammatically and also have to make logical sense with those last few words. So at that point, if you want, you can take some notes. Try to take some notes there. Uh, so and whatever option you pick, it has to um, make sense so that it should be something that can follow the last few words. Okay, so it has to link with them properly, and also it should make sense in the overall context of the recording, right? So sometimes what happens is that there'll be more than one options which are, let's say, grammatically correct, which you can attach to the end of the sentence, to the last words that you heard, but only one of those words go logically with what the audio was about, what the theme was about. So it has to match the last few words, plus it also has to fit in within the overall context of the recording. All right, so keep that in mind, and I'm sure you'll do well at this type of question. So if you're ready now, you can go to practice set number 1. All the best.